The BRICS Alliance, an agreement created by Brazil, Russia, India, and China to counter the economic and political influence of the West. It all started in 2001 when Jim O'Neill, chief economist at Goldman Sachs, wrote a paper describing the immediate economic growth potential of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Coincidentally, these exact countries would go on to form an alliance. Fast forward to 2006, foreign ministers from the BRIC nations met privately on the outskirts of a UN meeting to discuss their mutual desire for a bigger seat at the economic and political table. Then in 2009, the first official BRIC summit took place in Russia. So there are three main objectives of the BRICS alliance. One is to help each other grow economically by increasing trade and commerce. Two is to amplify the global influence of emerging economies. And three is to create a new global reserve currency. Although not explicitly mentioned, all these objectives are aimed at lessening the world's dependence on the US dollar. Now, the story takes an interesting turn with the introduction of South Africa. In the 1950s, China realized the untapped potential of African resources, which led them to invest millions through loans and aid packages. Although these amounts were small, that changed in 2007 when China purchased a 20% share of the Standard Bank of South Africa for $5.5 billion US. Soon after, South Africa was invited to join BRICS and accepted in 2010, adding an S to the name. So, should the West really be worried about all of this? Well, between 2010 and 2020, there was nothing major that threatened the US economy. There were increased levels of trade, as well as a bank to help fund BRICS nations with infrastructure projects. But it wasn't until the past 2 years that everything changed. February 24, 2022, Russia invades Ukraine. Within weeks, the US and its allies froze billions of Russia's US assets and removed them from the SWIFT banking system, attempting to cut them off from global trade and cripple their economy. Whether right or wrong, this economic weaponization made many countries fear they could be next, and they were uneasy about America's significant economic power. Soon after, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE all expressed interest and were officially made members on January 1st of this year. Many other countries have applied for membership, as well as over 20 more who have expressed interest. Now, the effects that most of these countries could have on the US if they joined are not overly concerning, but one that could be a bigger deal would be Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was asked to join but hasn't yet responded. Because they are one of the world's largest oil producers, them joining BRICS could significantly bolster the group's economic power and energy sector influence. So, what does this all mean for the future? Well, the BRICS alliance itself isn't the main concern here. It's the fact that American economic policies and dominance are pushing other nations to seek alternatives. Over time, these changes could significantly diminish US influence and change the balance of global economic power. Please subscribe to stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next video.